Hey everybody, I'm Trevor.
I'm Vincent.
We are the Anthony and Todd Show, and today we're going to be taking a look at the latest Mick Jenkins project, Pieces of a Man. Mick Jenkins is a Chicago rapper, mostly known for his 2014 album, The Waters. Also, he was featured on Bad Bad Not Good's record 4 from 2016 on the track Hyssop of Love, which is really where I came to know of him, and then backtracked to The Waters. Pieces of a Man is 17 tracks, 53 minutes, and features productions from the like of Bad Bad Not Good, the aforementioned band, K-Tronada, and Black Milk, who actually released a record earlier this year.
Yeah, and overall, this is like my first full Mick Jenkins record, and I've never listened to The Waters. I'm gonna be full front and say that I my real experience has come from the track "Hyssop of Love," so I was really interested to see where he was gonna take this. Starting off, like the first track on here, very theatric, very cinematic. He's like doing this spoken word poetry in front of this like loud audience, talking about the basic concept of man, all the pieces of a man. And it leads off to this nice, like, almost Pharrell-like vocals, like the feature he has on here.
Yeah.
The feature he has on here, Julian Bell, sounds pretty much like Pharrell, which I thought was really nice. I literally thought it was Pharrell for a minute, because it was just so close. And I thought it was really cool. It was a cool opener. I was like, oh, this, like, brings me shades of, like, almost like Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly in a way. It's very theatric.
That's very much so what it reminded me of.
And I was just like, where is he going to take this? He seems like a good, like, opus type work where he's just going to take us on this journey. After that, we get Stress Factor, which I was like, oh, that's a cool like introduction to him, and just like, where are we going to go with this? And then for the rest of the album, which just goes down the hill for me. This reminds me a lot of another Chicago artist's recent project, Joey Purp's Quarter Thing. I think that started out really strong too, but then it kind of lost focus towards the end, and this kind of feels the same for me. I think he wants to have like a major point about kind of society, but he just loses it. There's just too many points that he's trying to throw at me, and too many ideas he is that, and it goes on for so long that I just kind of lose focus of what he's actually trying to say on this. There's nothing too bad on this. I think my probably least favorite moment is something that's actually kind of adventurous and really, I guess, would be cool if it was done right. But the track Padded Locks with Ghostface Killah, has this Bad Bad Not Good 4 sample on it, which I think is cool. I think it's the opening track from 4.
It's Speaking Gently.
Oh, that's what it was. It has this like really cool sample loop. Oh, and K-Tronada produced this. This seems really cool. And then it has Ghostface on it. And I was like, oh, what's this gonna be? And it just like, neither Mick Jenkins or Ghostface kind of deliver anything that fits that beat. I just think they both felt like off their game on this track, because I think that beat is like really special, and it's pre-established work that I'm aware of, that it just seemed off to me. I think when you use notable samples, you have to have like your A game, or at least bring something that's fiery to it, or else you kind of, people who are listening to it kind of lose interest. At least that's how I felt.
Personally, I thought Padded Locks is my favorite track on the record. It feels like a real treat to feel all these forces combined. And I think that even though it might be a little sloppy, and I don't think it's Ghostface's best work, I still find it entertaining to see the two of them work together. And I think that like just having them all together is worth my time in and of itself. The rest of this record, like you said, I think loses focus or gets too caught up in itself. And so that's why I really like Padded Locks, is because it ventures out. There are other tracks I think are way worse. For instance, Soft Porn, I think just lacks this overall polish that I was like expecting to see on. It's almost like when a glitch like gets through in like a full game, or like a mistake is easily glazed over in a movie. This, like, the drums feel out of sync. Everybody seems like they are not on this beat. That's, you know, it's like everybody got together and made this beat and made this entire track, and it's just not working. It feels like a audio glitch. Something's like messed up, and I feel like that's kind of where that's where I'm at on this album. Is that like it was sloppily made, independent to Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Joey Badass's last record, All American Badass, because there's like, when you do conscious rap, if you don't have anything important to say, why are you doing it? Or anything unique to say, for that matter, because issues can be important, but if you don't have your own twist on it, it doesn't make it interesting. Because issues can be important outside the fact of music.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, 100%, because I think once I start thinking about the things touched upon in To Pimp a Butterfly, that is the magnum opus for those issues. The entire premise of To Pimp a Butterfly, I think, was summed up immensely well by Kendrick on that album, and I almost didn't want to see anybody else touch it because of that's what it is. Now, the issues are still important, they're still happening, and they should be touched upon, and they should be talked about. Like you said, like, All American Badass feels like Joey Badass talking about something that Kendrick's already done. This is Joey's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
This is Mick Jenkins' To Pimp a Butterfly. And it's not... It'll just never touch that standard. It'll never touch that platinum standard that was put. And so anything that feels very...
almost jazz rap, conscious.
Yeah. Anything that feels like that is always going to remind me of shades of what we'd considered a perfect record.
Yeah.
And by all means is a perfect record. So something like Padded Locks, which goes outside of that, I think is well worth my time because that sticks out. And even though it is a little sloppy and it doesn't always fit together, it sticks out of this texture like a sore thumb. And I love it.
Yeah. Another example of conscious rap, Run the Jewels.
Yes.
They are their own personalities. And that's what makes their points kind of worth it, is their personalities that back them up and their humor. I do not sense a character from Mick Jenkins on this. I sense vocal character, and that's something that intrigued me about His Up of Love and wanted me to go into this, but I do not sense, like, who he is. And that when you're giving me 53 minutes of material, I should get some of the, either, like, let's say you're, like, someone like Kanye, who's very whimsical or jokey or corny, something like that. Or if you're Killer Mike, someone harsh, aggressive, but has a good heart. LP, goofy. So, like, if I'm listening to, like, let's say another Kid Cudi record, someone who's dealing with these traumas. So basically, any random name. I'm just saying random. Yeah. So basically, I'm just saying random names at this point. But from artists, I should expect your personality, and he isn't giving me any personality.
A better example, Ski Mask shining through the rest of these XXL freshmen.
Yeah.
Ski Mask's personality puts him miles ahead of everybody else. Yeah. Mick Jenkins is falling into the lines here.
And you don't need to have a absurd personality or anything like that. You just need to be yourself, or at least be different, because if you're just a regular bloke, why are you making music?
Shouts out to Samuel Put.
But yeah, I just don't get anything out of this. Like, I bet people will have fun with this record. It's not for me, because I just don't think anything on it's interesting. There's no wholesome narrative thread, even though it kind of sets up a very theatric style.
It likes to think that it has a wholesome narrative thread and makes sense, but it doesn't in the end.
Yeah, I don't think this is terrible by any means. There's passion put behind this, but not enough to where you sense it distinctively. I'm feeling needs more personality out of 10. I think that's what this thing needs the most. More personality and more consistency. That's what I think it needs.
That's good.
But if you want to hear us talk about more reviews, we have plenty of reviews on our YouTube channel. Right now, I'm going to put up... where are we going to put up?
Joey Perp.
Joey Perp. We're going to put Joey Perp's review on screen, so if you want to check that out, you can click on it right now. If you want to hear us talk about music in audio form, every week we have a podcast that goes up on Apple Music, Spotify, and Google Play Music. Links down below if you want to check that out. If you want to talk with us about music, we have a Discord down below, and you can click on that, join the group of fellas who shit on Animal Collective. But until next time, guys, I've been Vincent.
I'm Trevor.
See you, boys.
Bye, everybody.